Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here. Today we're going to be adding another attack to the Boom Beach Playbook, so let's boom this beach! We got Jai Macau aka Shanks. We're going to be showing a Titanic, slightly alternative tactic. So they've already tried the standard, which is flag just to the top left corner of the beach, and then you should be flaring right up into this up onto this wall. You can find it in the playbook under Titanic standard. You'll have to clear these mines as well, and then you're going to be putting your Zookas sort of between these sniper towers, these flamethrowers, trying to get them into that gap as much as you can. But you can see, because those are flamethrowers, it's going to be a lot tighter in there. There's a lot of, like, the shock launcher is going to be in range, these rocket launchers are going to be in range. So sometimes it's not the best tactic. It is there's a machine gun out the back, so you're not going to be able to use critters as much for the mortar as well. But it is a really good option. You could still pull it off. But today we're going to be looking at this crazy right path that Shanks has just shown me. We're going to start off by suiciding the hero on the left hand side. We can flag land because there's a bunch of cells on the right hand side. Sometimes there is a sneaky rocket launcher in here somewhere, which is going to make this attack a lot harder. But if that's not there, we do have to clear these mines on the just above the core, where this is where we're going to end up being. This was a level 22, so we definitely need to clear that. You just need to scout that out. So on the right hand side, there's only pretty much single shots, assuming that cheeky rocket launcher isn't in there, and a whole bunch of cells. So you can collect a bunch of GBE, which is awesome for this attack. You only really need to clear the mines around those boom cannons up there. There is one mine that we're going to go through over here, but that's fine. So let's just check out the Zookas. They're going to be clearing out a bunch of cells, obviously collecting a lot of GBE, which will help us replenish from biting out those mines, and also will give us a whole bunch of shocks in our back pocket for once we do get to the core. So here we go, we're starting to get to the right zone here. Just as a quick recalibration flare, the sniper is going to pick off a couple of ladies, that's fine. And then the first gather flare that we are worried about, so we got this rocket launcher just here, so we don't want to come in too spread, but we do want to get those last couple of cells, and then our gather point is right here. So we did lose the delay on this rocket launcher, which is unfortunate. We'll just sort of have a look at the spot here, because it's going to be quite critical. This is when we're going to start our crazy walk, and you need to be here before you start. So it's this white square on the right hand side. You can sort of line it up from the right hand side of the beach directly up to where this side wall intersects. That's sort of your flare point there. So you need an anchor point somewhere. You don't want to destroy the sniper or one of the fuel cells. As long as you're in range of something, the Zookas will be nice and grouped, and you want to flare, as always, you want to be flaring the next point before your Zookas settle and spread. And the next flare point is going to be right up above those boom cannons, and boom, look at that, it's right on the wall, nice and tight, right behind the boom cannon, but not on the boom cannon. So here we go, Zookas are going to start moving up, and this path is going to be super repeatable. So you're just going to watch, make sure you know where they're going to walk. They're going to walk straight vertically for quite a while, and then they start veering off to the left. You see he's already moving his smoke slightly to the left because he knows that's where they're going to go. We can afford to hit level 20 mine, but if it's not to level 20, obviously scout that out, make sure you get it down. This rocket launcher up the top, I have heard, is very rare, so definitely need to check that out. You are going to have to reflare just before you get to the area. This rocket launcher at the top is pretty rare, and the shock blaster as well. I believe they're usually mortars or single shots, so that would usually save you a shock up there, but you are going to have to shock this rocket launcher this time. And then from that final spot, once we get there, before they spread again, we're just going to double smoke and flare onto the sniper. So you see he flared onto this sniper on the left hand side first, just to keep them all nice and grouped right up to the left wall. And as soon as they're sort of into that double smoke, we want to flare onto the core. So not too much spread there, they're just going to sit really nicely. And then you're obviously going to count up all your shocks and critters and everything that you're going to need to do. You probably will want to use critters on this right side, just by these close mortars, for all of these mortars outside. I guess none of them are in range actually. But the critters will definitely help with the single shots that are usually out there. These rocket launchers will fire into them first, because that's probably that could be your last shock point. So let's have a look. He shocked the rocket launcher up top. The rocket launchers just to the 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And obviously he needed to shock the flamethrowers and mortars that were really close. These two mortars are going to be firing into those critters. And there we go. We're just going to be hammering into the core there. I love it. Shock blaster is out of range, but that's obviously a little bit non-standard. These rocket launchers down the bottom are out of range. The shock launchers are out of range. And we're just smoking the core from 1 o'clock. We're not too worried about these boom cannons around us. And then once the shocks come up, we are going to get taken out. So it's a great hit from Shanks. I love it. We'll have another look, but we'll look at the takedown this time. Someone else tried it and didn't have too much success, just because they missed a couple of the shock points. But let's have a look at Dark Knight. He's going to be taking it out for us. So again, Suicide and the Hero on the left hand side, because she's just going to get in the way. If you feel that you can try and get her along this path, then feel free. Obviously do that, but it's going to be a lot harder because it's quite a long walk. We can still flag land even though there's nothing to group us, because then we can use the corners and time. See, as the first ones start to turn, we can wait until they're a little bit closer to the rear ones, and then we can flare up. And now they're onto that anchor point just at the top of that white square. Might lose the delay on that bottom rocket launcher again, but that's okay. Unfortunately, did lose a couple out the back, and then we're flaring right up to that top point before the Zookas settle. That's really critical. You don't want the Zookas to spread too much. They might start taking different paths other than this beautiful single line that they've got going on right now. And here we go. So I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got the reflare by those mortars. 7, 8 smokes to get to the point, and then usually a double smoke, but he's going to get really ballsy and use one smoke. So I like that. So I'm pretty confident. He's flaring onto that sniper, keeping them all nice and snug up against the wall. We did lose the delay on the right hand side. Flaring onto the core, and then we're using the critter and the shock on the right side, shocking the rocket launcher above. And he hasn't even shocked these rocket launchers down low because they're firing into the critters. The re-critter was a little bit late, but that's okay. And then boom, down goes the core. So nice work. Thanks for bringing this one to me, Shanks. Definitely check out that path. It won't be the most efficient path every time, but it's definitely one to have in your tool belt to check out. And if it is best, then use it, abuse it. I love it. So shout out to Boomers Inc. showing me this one. Great attacks. Love your work. Give us a comment down below if you take out Titanic any differently, if you like this attack, if you haven't seen it before, any of those sorts of things. And give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach.